All right, welcome back, everyone, and thanks for joining us on our second webinar for Mastering AI using Microsoft 365 Copilot. Today, we're going to go beyond the investment, really taking a look at, again, those feature updates and the demonstrations that we showed you, and connecting them with the services that we have that can really help drive business impact by assisting you guys in every way possible. We have a few different people with me here today. We're going to get to that, but first, let's cover our topics of today. So starting right off, we're going to introduce the speakers today. Again, I have two people joining me from our services side. We'll get to them. We're going to go over again what separates ourselves from the competition and our core competencies. And then we're going to dive into a few different offerings that we have to better enable you guys with Microsoft 365 Copilot so you can start utilizing those new features and updates that we showed to you on our last webinar. So to kick it off, you guys hopefully know me from last time, but again, my name is Jonathan Cantella. I'm the Copilot Business Development Specialist here on the Microsoft Alliance side at Connection. And joining me is Patrick and Andrew. Patrick, if you can introduce yourself first.
Of course. My name is Patrick Renzi. I'm a senior cloud solution architect with our Digital Workspace Center of Excellence, formerly of our Microsoft Services team. And I support the broader M365 stack, including Microsoft 365 Copilot.
Nice. Thank you, Andrew.
My name is Andrew Phelan. I'm a senior field solution architect with Connection. The field solution architect team is a group of non-billable strategic technical resources that can be applied to our customers. I've been in IT for about 30 years. I was actually a Connection customer for 15 years. And we're just here to make sure that our customers get the best solutions to any of the challenges that they're facing.
So Andrew, we were just that good, huh? That you were like, you know what? I got to go work for him.
I have to, yes, no, that's absolutely correct. I mean, I kept coming back to Connection because the services were pretty amazing. And I did take the same sales account manager from job to job for several years. And then she pulled me over and I joined the team.
Nice. Love to hear it. Well, thanks for the introduction, guys. So I know we covered this slide on our last webinar. Not going to spend too long on it this time, but what I wanted to connect is when we go over these specializations and holding, the 6 specializations across Azure, Modern Work, Cloud Security. Patrick and Andrew, they're really two of the people out of the many resources that we have that contribute to our success, that contribute to us getting these specializations. So it's great to have them on this call as our technical resources to, again, take a little bit of a deep dive into the services that we have that can better enable your Microsoft 365 Copilot solution. So with that, I'll dive right into our first topic, unlocking Copilot's value. Hopefully, a lot of you have heard of our Copilot workshop, but if you haven't, this is where we're really going to make our pitch. And Andrew, I'm going to pick on you for this one to kind of go through the core steps for our workshop. What does this bring to our customers when you have these conversations with them?
So we actually, I know this is broken down into ROI, use cases, and end user education. We really like to start with the use cases, like take a deep dive into the customer's environment, try to figure out where we can best apply AI at Copilot in particular. And then using that, we can develop a robust ROI to justify the spend for Copilot. And then after that, we do some end user education to make sure that you're getting the best value for your dollar.
Love it. And again, I know I have this down on the slide early into your adoption. This is something that we really pitch to the customers that are kind of at that base level of jumping into Copilot and starting off. Beyond the use cases, is there anything else that you can kind of mention to those, again, early adopters where we can really help them out on the ROI breakdown? Or maybe, again, just showing some examples of the tool at use?
Yeah, I would say for the ROI breakdown, we do try to show examples of how Copilot can bring value to your business. And because we're bringing our solution architects into the field for this, this is something that is a non-billable exercise. We're trying to come in and help you understand how you can use Copilot to improve your efficiency and reduce your costs.
Perfect. Yeah. So, on the last webinar series, we really took a deep dive into Copilot Chat and then Copilot agents. Again, so for you customers that just have a few licenses and you're like, I really like to see that. Those are really some great features I want to take advantage of. And you're looking for a starting point. This would be where we want to land, get you connected with somebody like Andrew, and then we can walk through some scenarios with you.
Absolutely.
And then moving right along, Andrew and Patrick, I think both of you had some points to make around here. So whoever wants to take the reins first on it, please do so. But going into our second offering that we have, so for customers that are really preparing to further that adoption into Copilot, and they just want to make sure a few things are in check, in line with our technical readiness assessment before they do that deep dive. Could you walk me through a little bit of this?
Yeah. So our technical readiness assessment is really the first professional services foray into a Copilot deployment with our organization. And one of the main things that we're really looking to do is just evaluate what the content health is. How are you managing content in your environment, specifically Microsoft 365 repositories like SharePoint, Teams, OneDrive, and Exchange. What's the permission structure? Are we maintaining our permissions and managing our permissions? Do we have good hygiene on our content? Are we cleaning up old content? And also, how are we using the different pieces of M365 that could help manage what users have access to, such as Purview or Entra, so that we can get you guys set up with the proper, you guys being a client, of course, set up with a proper base to make sure that when you turn on Copilot, users aren't getting not just data that they shouldn't have access to, but also data that's not relevant to them. It may be old, out of date. They could be getting responses from team sites that haven't been used in years and the content's stale. And they could be taking that incorrect and out of date content and putting it into responses to clients and other businesses. And we really don't want that, right? It's not good adoption there. Once we go through that, we formulate all the responses. We put together a pretty lengthy and in-depth recommendations document that has kind of a roadmap showing priorities of what needs to be addressed first. And we parlay it right into a statement of work. That's where myself or one of my colleagues here at a digital workspace center of excellence would be engaged to take that deliverable from our engineering and turn it into a statement of work to complete those remediation activities. And that really pushes us into preparing for and pushing out to the users and turning on that adoption of Copilot and getting that ROI.
And I really like what you said around like just old information, right? So on our last webinar, we had two Microsoft Badge resources go through some demonstrations of features, and of course they went into security, governance, and compliance quite often, right? That's a big talk track from Microsoft. But I like how you touched upon that. Making sure that when your users are utilizing Copilot, they're not getting old or outdated information that they could be, misinforming their customer base with or themselves with. That's a great thing to think about when you're rolling out Copilot to people.
And I also just want to emphasize that even regardless of how deeply you get involved with Copilot, this kind of technical readiness assessment can be incredibly useful. Identifying old data, identifying governance gaps, identifying compliance gaps. For any business, this is a very valuable exercise.
I definitely agree. And then moving on, we do have another one. I know that this is going to be hopefully pretty popular. It's a new offering on our side here. Patrick, I think you're going to be the one speaking to this. Just rolling through agent development and optimization again, which was a core demonstration that we went over in the webinar with a lot of great features that people can get out of it.
Yeah, Microsoft's big push right now, for good reason, is for organizations not just to adopt what they've created in Copilot, but use Copilot to create specific copilots or agents within their organization to accomplish specific tasks that they may have, business automation, automate processes, create specific use cases for their organization, and then in turn add that to the great library of agents that have been developed by Microsoft and other clients or partners that can be made available for users to take advantage of and to start adopting. And what we've done is skill up as well as work within other areas of our organization to be able to start offering professional services around defining use case, at designing how the agent is supposed to work, defining the success criteria, and then developing and testing, piloting those agents within your Copilot Studio environment. Now, it's important to call out that this is a feature of Copilot Studio, which is, of course, licensed separately from M365 Copilot. But once you start to realize the use case that is out there for agents, whether pre-built or customized, and developed by your organization. A lot of clients that we have are really starting to dive into this. We've seen some come to us with internally developed spreadsheets showing anywhere between 100, 150, 250, 300 use cases that users within that organization have identified. And they come to us to start building out how would we take these ideas and turn them into actionable agents.
Yeah, and I would say that's the next logical step, right? So as you look at just AI in general, it started off as a website you could go to, right? And just ask it a few questions, it give you some answers. Then Microsoft came along, integrated it in with their M365 apps that we're using every single day. And now with agents, you're taking your actual workflow that you want to accomplish and integrating it, customized to your actual needs.
Yeah, specific use cases that organizations have, whether it could be a simple chatbot for a website to pull from knowledge bases, whether it could be a scheduling resource to help users schedule time off within an HR system, or perhaps a ticketing resource to help users with expense reporting and scheduling, travel, logistics, tying into multiple different services using available data connectors and Dataverse.
Awesome. And then question for both of you, whoever would like to take it. It's an easy one, I promise you. But say a customer that's on this call right now, they're interested in learning more about these services. What would be the best step for them to take to get connected to one of you guys or just to get more information on these?
First thing, always reach out to your account manager and
was just
tell
gonna
them
say that.
exactly what you want to do, and they will use their resources, i.e., us, to get engaged with the correct people to help you guys, being the customer, move forward.
And tell
Perfect. See, I told you it was going to be an easy one.
tell your account manager, bring in a solution architect, whether that's one of the field people or one of the Microsoft people, and have a deeper dive in how you can use this to increase your efficiency, improve your business.
Exactly. And of course, we'll be putting some documents in the chat here too that you can pull and you can actually send to your account manager to help them, direct them in the right way for what you're looking for. So be on the watch out for that. But moving right along, we mentioned it a few times on this call, and I know it was mentioned quite more on the first call, which is just scaling AI transformation, right? Making sure that Copilot Chat, first and foremost, is rolled out to all your users as it's free for anybody with a Microsoft account to utilize, replacing any of the need for those third-party AI tools that are sharing your data, using it for LLM, retaining it on their side where Microsoft does not, and how if you start them with chat, get them using it, get an understanding how AI can really supplement and increase their activity at work, it's going to lead to an M365 Copilot situation where they're looking for more. They want to build it in and surround it with their work data. They want to be able to use it directly across their M365 apps. And then just like Patrick went over, maybe we're talking about agents. We want to start utilizing agents across the work field. It all starts with Copilot Chat, getting you guys and your end users utilizing that today from a starting point, and then of course working with us on the services side to help educate you guys on use cases, train you up, and help you deploy services to roll out, moving from Copilot Chat to M365 Copilot, agents, and more. And of course, speaking about Copilot Chat, I wanted to share just this quick screen to kind of summarize again what Copilot Chat offers and brings to your end users within your environment. It's the free secure AI chat that they can utilize instead of those third-party tools that are going to be retaining your data and using it to train their LLM. Microsoft's Copilot Chat's not doing any of that stuff. And again, it's going to be the best way to bridge the gap to M365 Copilot, getting chat work grounded, being able to use the information across your organization to help answer questions, fill out documents, etc. And then, of course, they get Copilot in all the M365 apps, moving them towards agents, Copilot control system, and getting some analytics as well. Andrew, I'll pass it over to you. Anything that you want to add on this slide? Maybe walk me through ways that you utilize Copilot.
Yeah, I was going to say, so I can tell you that for my own part, I've used Copilot in M365 apps. I've gotten great use out of it, from summarizing meetings and Teams, from Outlook. Certainly Excel has been, Copilot's been a huge help. But then when it comes to developing agents or moving into the control system and analytics, the people you want to talk to are Patrick's team.
Yeah, we can certainly help turn different use cases that your organization has into actionable agent development plans. and also just work through some of the different ways that organizations can use Copilot within the M365 apps themselves, or just generally interacting with the web. I know I personally use it to assist with research when it comes to writing statements of work, helping me get on the right path to find the documentation I need if there's a new feature we need to research, or supportability matrices that are sometimes difficult to find in Microsoft documentation. And you mentioned, Andrew, using it in Excel. One of the things I really like to use Copilot for is developing Excel formulas for random little things that I need to do with data points, whether it's usage out of a customer's environment that I'm using to help put together that statement of work, and it's been invaluable there.
Yeah, I think it's just fun to think about too. In our workshop, we mentioned showing use cases and how you can utilize Copilot to assist you through your day. But really, just having these conversations, just me talking to you guys and talking to the account managers on how they're using it. You're giving me ways where I'm like, wow, I should actually be trying that as well and
Yeah,
using it. And that's just I think one of the biggest ways that you're going to discover better ways to use it.
sometimes just trying. You may get a thought in your head and go, oh,
Yep.
that was difficult. I wonder if I could do that with
Right.
Copilot.
Right.
And it's a good idea to have an ongoing conversation with your end users and find out what interesting things they're doing with it.
For sure. And then moving into one of our few last slides here, one thing that we want to hit home with you guys is, of course, this is around Copilot and the services that we offer around there. But we did want to pull out our entire solutions catalog for you here that just yields a variety of solutions to fuel modernization, productivity, security, and managed services just to fully support your environment. So as you kind of work through the Copilot conversation and then you find yourself maybe needing assistance elsewhere, that's where we really can come in and support. Andrew, I'll kind of toss it over to you to walk us through some of these different fields with the people on the call.
Yep. So at Connection, we are a full service IT solution provider. We cover digital workspace, modern infrastructure, multi cloud, supply chain, lifecycle. We have a manufacturing practice, we have a retail practice. And we're not here to sell you Copilot or any other specific product. We are trying to build a solution that is going to help you solve the technical challenges that you're facing. And we have a large team of non billable strategic technical resources that are at your disposal as a customer. We can help you with everything from end user compute to data center to cybersecurity, managed workspace, and also artificial intelligence, which is what we're talking about today. Patrick, do you want to add on to that?
Yeah. Yeah, there's different ways that we can bridge these different areas together. Some of them do play into each other. There may be a situation, I was mentioning at the beginning that I cover the Microsoft 365 stack mainly. So I would fall largely in the digital workspace area under EUC modernization, collaboration, and productivity. But often, if I'm working with an Intune deal, there's a lot of bridge into not just our TIDC services, which is our distribution center, technical distribution center in Ohio, for device provisioning, configuration services, depot services, but also down into the lifecycle services for managing rollouts, managing steps that may happen on at the client site, managing what to do with resources once they're past the use case lifecycle. And then also, often I bridge into situations where we may be discussing transitioning from a traditional desktop to virtual desktop infrastructure, and that can play into our hyperscaler partners and support from our multi-cloud COE. So all of these areas that we assist with, they all integrate with each other, and we all play within the same space to help design the solution that truly fits what you guys need.
And another thing that where Connection really excels, what we try to do with our customers is we try to treat every engagement as a teaching engagement. We never want to leave you in a situation where you don't know how to do what we just showed you how to do. So when we build out a data center, we build out managed workspace, we build out a collaboration solution, we want to make sure that you understand what we did and how to manage it so that when we walk away, you can still do it yourself.
I couldn't have said it better myself, Andrew. Great point. I think that perfectly ties into our last slide here before we roll out. And that's just getting the most value from your Microsoft investment, right? So we kind of touched upon, both of you, all the different services that we offer across the board. And at the end of the day, with this being a conversation around Copilot and Microsoft in general, it is all about your Microsoft investment and landscape. And we have just about everything and anything that you could need to make sure your investment is going that extra mile. You're utilizing the most out of those productivity suites that you have through, say, M365 and Copilot. So just a great way, again, to connect with us, be able to work with Andrew and Patrick to run through any exact needs that you may have. The conversation, we're glad to start somewhere with it being Copilot and then leading into any one of these topics. Patrick, anything to add on this slide?
Yeah, just again to stress on truly as Andrew was saying, the customized nature of based on your needs. And, in some cases, we may look into, I know I've had conversations about certain Microsoft products on the security side, and it made sense for the client to look to supplement either with a third-party product, perhaps fit a third-party product into some of the other Microsoft security solutions that we were planning to deploy. We're going to make those recommendations that are best for you based on what your needs are, what solution you're trying to solve for, or what solution you're looking for.
Yeah, and speaking from my own experience as a Connection customer, I just want to say, like, getting the most value from your Microsoft investment, this is an area where this company really excels. The Microsoft licensing optimization in particular, we have a small team of people who are focused on Microsoft licensing, which, as most of our customers know, that's a landscape that changes daily. And, we can bring the experts to the table and help you get the most out of your investment.
Yeah, I think between the changes with licensing and then all the new features that they're rolling out across every single one of their products, if you just stay focused in Microsoft alone, it can be quite the headache. And then all of a sudden, you got to factor in everything else that you're using across your IT environment. So it can be a lot to take on. And that's where we hope that you come to us to help offload some of that workflow, some of that stress onto our team here to take care of you across all the services that we have to offer. But with that, that wraps up our quick presentation around services for Copilot and beyond for today's webinar series. Before we let you go, Andrew, Patrick, any final thoughts, sentences before we wrap up here?
I just want to say that we here at Connection are here to provide as much value to our customers as possible. If there's anything you need, please reach out to your account manager and make sure that they reach out to our solution architect team.
Yeah, any questions, always worth a call. Any questions, always worth getting answered. So don't feel hesitant to ask.
Yep, we're here to help you.
Perfect. Well, thanks for that, guys. Thanks for jumping on and being my support for these conversations. And again, thank you all for joining. And until next time, thanks, everybody.